What's up, guys? Today we're going to be going over every single Destiny 2 super and comparing their damage versus each other and trying to figure out which ones are the best for burst damage for boss fights or which ones are the best for roaming supers. And in this video we'll be testing versus the Spire Dungeon boss, and for every super we're using its most optimal exotic piece along with any aspects or fragments that may buff it. In this video, we're gonna let the clips quickly play out. Then after each character has gone through all of its supers, I'll come back on comms and quickly recap what I found surprising and the best. So first, starting off with Warlock. So now that we've used all of the Warlock supers, the ones that really stood out to me is how bad Novas are compared to when the game first launched. When they first came out, Novas were one of the best DPS supers in the game, but they have obviously been power crept so much that they are basically the worst on Warlock. And Needlestorm is just straight up better, doing nearly 50% more than both Nova Bombs. So that's gonna be like the best burst super damage for Warlock now. And Chaos Reach plus Geomag is a little bit more damage at 492k, but it honestly takes quite a while, so that's kind of like a hybrid burst slash roaming because of how long it takes to actually do it. So overall, Needlestorm is definitely the best just to start off a boss fight and get back to your weapons. Then for the roaming supers, all of them were in that 400 to like 450k range, and none of them were really much higher than the others, and none of them offer too much more damage than Needle Storm or Chaos Reach. So it's not like you should be using any of the roaming supers on Warlock for a boss fight. You're not going to get that much damage out of them. So really none of them are even worth mentioning for boss fights. Alright, so now moving on to Titan. So for Titan, there's really only one burst super on the entire class, and that's going to be Thunder Crash. And that is a really good one, hitting over 500,000 at 527k, which is definitely more than any of the burst Warlock supers. But then for the roaming ones, these ones are going to be hit or miss. Most of them are melee based, which means depending on exactly what boss you're using against, it might be easy, it might be terrible. And the chicken boss definitely wasn't great, but the two that definitely stick out to me are Blade Fury. The uppercuts with the right click or the secondary attack hit really hard, and the goal is just to spam it as often as possible, and it resulted in 549k, which is pretty good for a roaming super. And the Hammer of Soul hammers were also extremely good, almost hitting 600k total damage if you could take advantage of standing in a sun spot. So those are definitely the two roaming supers that stood out a lot to me. All the other ones were like in the 300k range, and depending on the boss, it could be a little bit better if they stand still and have really good hit detection. And depending on how big the boss is, I've seen Glacial Quake can be pretty effective if it instantly shatters like all of them due to how large the boss is. So a lot of these are going to be boss dependent as mentioned, but Hammer of Soul, Blade Fury, and obviously Thunder Crash are the 3 go-to on Titan. And now moving on to Hunter, the one character that has a universal exotic that buffs super damage. So to probably no one's surprise, Hunter still has by far the best supers in the game. For burst, they have Blade Barrage doing almost 700k, along with Gathering Storm doing 631k, way more than anything Warlock has to offer, and still a decent chunk higher than Thunder Crash on Titan. And then you have Mobius Quiver with Starter Skills doing 455k, along with applying a 30% debuff for your entire team. So yeah, I mean, that is basically the same as the best burst one for Warlock, while also giving your team a debuff. So yeah, that's pretty good. Another thing to note is with Golden Gun, If you're looking for total damage output, starter skill is higher, while Nighthawk will still be better burst. But Hunter doesn't just have the best burst ones, they also have the best roaming ones. The two that obviously stand out is first, Arc Staff with Radiant Flux is really good if you do the combo at over 700k, and nothing compares to Silk Strike with starter skills doing over 931,000. So Hunter, mostly with starter skills, is in a league of its own, and by far the best burst and roaming supers. Anyways, let me know what you think about all of these supers down below. Overall, I think it's time for Warlock to get some help in the super department through some exotic armor piece, but maybe that's just me. Like usual, thanks for watching, catch you guys next time.